Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be going over our very exciting September of 2021 forecast. Meteorological fall is officially here today. I'm so excited and I hope you guys are as well. It's that time of year again where the temperatures on average are decreasing finally. It's not going to be as hot as it is now by the end of September. We are officially cooling down as we head into the fall and winter months. One of the most beautiful times of the year where the leaves start to change. I love it so much, guys. Let me know what you think down below of the fall temperatures. That should be the comment of the day. How do you feel about fall? How much do you love it? Is it your favorite season? I don't know. Let me know and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Also, be sure to check out our most recent winter forecast, which is going to be on the top right corner of your screen. The overall forecast, temperature forecast, precipitation forecast, and snowfall forecast will all be included. Anyway, as always, be sure to like the video, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. Let's get right into things now. And first things first, we are taking a look at that precipitation forecast. And as you can see, we have a small area of below normal precipitation expected here in the southeastern United States. And it's always important to mention, especially during this time of year, that a hurricane or tropical storm could completely switch up this forecast in unforeseen ways. That's the unfortunate side effect of the hurricane season during these monthly and seasonal forecasts, that one hurricane could drop 20 inches of rain and then turn the area that I expected below normal precipitation into an area with far above normal precipitation in very unforeseen ways. Obviously, we cannot predict a hurricane more than a week out, and that's even pushing it. So, yeah, it's not something we can really predict. And if that does happen, I'm letting you know right now, as a disclaimer, there is a chance of that happening, as always. Now, we even have a second shade here. This is just where we're more confident in these below normal precipitation. This time of year, during an El Nino, we would start to see a lot of nor'easters, and that is not going to be the case because we're not in an El Nino. So it's very typical for these areas to begin developing below normal precipitation. Again, any sort of activity in the tropic would completely shake up this prediction, though, especially this one. But even the areas where we don't have above average or below average, it could impact anywhere along the eastern or Gulf seaboards. So we're going to be wanting to pay especially attention to that, obviously. Now, we even have above normal precipitation for some of the United States, obviously. We're starting out in the northwestern corner of the United States, northern California, northern Nevada there, and then portions of Idaho, Montana, Washington, and Oregon. This is an important time for me to mention that this might resemble my fall forecast, which we uploaded yesterday. Go check that out if you haven't already. But September is 1/3 of that forecast. So if it didn't resemble it, that would be a red flag, honestly. So if you're watching somebody else's forecast, make sure their seasonal forecast matches up with their monthly forecasts that are within that season. Otherwise, that's a big, big, big red flag. So it should resemble, my September forecast should resemble the fall forecast because it is 1/3 of that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on and we're going to take a look at the rest of the above average precipitation regions. There's many of them still left to go. It's going to be a very wet month for a lot of the United States. And then we're going to move right into the temperature forecast and eventually overall forecast. All right, now here's our second region of above normal precipitation, and as you can see, it takes up a lot of the United States here. Anywhere from the Four Corner states in through the plains, the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and even the northeastern United States. We expect there to overall be mostly above normal precipitation for these regions. Now, it might not exclusively be for your house. Like, your house might not see above normal precipitation, but the county next to you might see a big thunderstorm that brings inches of rainfall. So it really varies from location to location. But overall, I would say 75% of the areas within this light green area should see above normal precipitation, and that is why we are forecasting for it. Obviously, it would be impossible to guarantee that every single spot within here would see above normal precipitation. Anyway, here's one of our second shades. We have multiple of them, by the way. The first one here is for the Four Corner states, and they're going to get a little bit of storminess here within the first week of September, and that's going to be enough to give you guys above normal precipitation, almost guaranteed on the season. So it only takes a tiny, tiny bit for Arizona and New Mexico especially, but even portions of Colorado and Utah can be very dry as well. So it doesn't take very much rainfall, and you guys are going to get quite a bit, actually, to give you guys above normal precipitation. By the way, the darker shades just mean we're more confident than the lighter shades. So this dark green shade, for instance, is where we're more confident than the surrounding regions. All right, here's our second layer region. And this one's going to be for the northeastern United States, a little bit of the Ohio Valley as well here. And yes, this is from the remnants of Ida, which is almost going to solidify an above average precipitation month for you guys within the first couple of days here, bringing inches and inches of rainfall, almost guaranteeing that above normal precipitation for the entire month of September once we look back at it. And we even have a third shade here because this is where that basically the greatest rainfall from Ida is going to be located here in this darkest green region. Again, nearly guaranteeing you will see above normal precipitation on the month of September, especially since it's the first couple of days. Pretty easy forecast there. We have a third region with these moderately above normal precipitations, or I guess the higher confidence region. And this one is going to be for the upper Midwest. Just the models have been trending at this area overall, seeing more storminess throughout the month of September. There's going to be frequent cold fronts for this area as well, which could bring extra precipitation. I'll be talking about that a little bit later on as well. So yes, there's multiple factors going on here, but we have three regions of the medium shade and then even one with a third shade there. That is all for our precipitation forecast. Let's move right into our temperature forecast in just a moment. We're going to take a look at the above normal and below normal temperature regions and then eventually get into the overall forecast also in just a moment. All right, now here's our above normal temperature region here. And for California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Nevada, Arizona, and even Utah, we expect above normal temperatures here. There should be a bit of a western ridge here, or what we like to call a positive P&A. That seems like what's going to be setting up throughout the month of September. There is no official guidance that suggests we will or will not see this throughout the rest of the fall, although I have kind of leaned that way. I think for October and November as well, mostly we will see this kind of western ridge. That's why if you check out our fall forecast, like I said, we mostly forecasted a very similar pattern to this because not only September, but also October and November look like they could see a pattern pretty similar to this. We even have that moderately red region here for Washington, Oregon, Nevada, and California, where we're even more confident in these above normal temperatures. It seems evident there will be mostly a positive P&A throughout the month of September here, which means warm temperatures on the West Coast, basically. Now, we even have a smaller region with some slightly above normal temperatures here for New England. It just seems like this area is going to mostly hold on to a little bit of that warmth, and the cooldowns this September won't be quite as potent as what is typical. That's mostly my reasoning for that. And then also we have one for the southeast here. It's the same story. I think we're going to hold on to a little bit of that summertime heat, and there's going to be a little less cloudiness with that below normal precipitation as well. Those two things combined are really going to lead to more of the warmth. It's going to feel more like an extension of summer here for a lot of the southeast. Now, getting into some of those below normal temperatures here, we're starting out with the central United States. Actually, you know what? This is the only one. So we're starting out, and we will be closing out here with the central United States, where I think there could be some frequent cold fronts here, all the way from Montana down to Texas, through the Gulf states, and back up through the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes. All of these regions can expect below normal temperatures because of these frequent cold fronts in the central United States. And I think a lot of times, like you see the area that's not shaded there on the East Coast, I think oftentimes we could see some pretty cold patterns in there, but we also could see some pretty warm patterns at times as well. That's going to be a little bit of a battle zone between the heat and the warmth there. We even have a moderate shade of these below normal temperatures, and this is, again, where we're just more confident in those below normal temperatures there in the middle. That's where the cold fronts are going to be the most potent, bringing some of that Canadian air down, because obviously Canada begins to cool down in September much more than we do. So as those air masses head down from Canada, we're going to get a lot more of that potent air, even some of that Arctic air up there way, way, way up in northern Canada, where there is even some snow cover eventually in the month of September. If air comes from there down to the United States, it is very potent for this time of year, actually. Now, moving on to our official overall forecast for September, we're going to work our way from west to east as always. Hot and dry there for the West Coast, the darker red region more so than the lighter orange region, but hot and dry overall for most of these regions. Typical snow chances there for the white regions. It's kind of 50-50 whether they see a lot of snowfall or not during the month of September. It really depends on precipitation patterns and also what kind of cold fronts we deal with, but it is pretty typical to see snowfall, but it's also pretty typical to not really see much at all. But we're going to have to wait and see what it looks like. But all of these areas, the mountaintops especially, obviously if you're lower elevation, not really going to see snowfall most likely, but if you're higher elevation within that white region, there's a good chance you could see snowfall at some point. Stormy down there for a lot of the Four Corner states, again, above normal precipitation. This is especially during the first half of the month, like I said before. big cold fronts up there for the dark blue region. Again, if we get some of that Canadian air coming down from Canada, especially later in the month, it could be pretty potent. When we see those warm temperatures on the west coast and the east coast, it kind of leaves only one place for the cold air to go, and it's straight down the middle. That's why I expect these areas to see some pretty cold air throughout the month of September. Much colder down here for this lighter blue region, and by much colder I mean colder than normal, basically. From what is typical and even what we've seen in frequent, or I guess recent Septembers that we've seen. So that's just how I feel at this point. Cooler late down there for the southern United States. As we head later into September, these cold fronts could start pushing further and further south and further east as we progress through the month. We'll even be dealing with some stormy conditions up there for the northeastern United States. Again, especially these first couple of days with Ida. We could be seeing some storminess up there, bringing above normal precipitation. And as always, for the month of September, we are going to be watching the tropics because at any point a hurricane could hit the East Coast or the Gulf states, obviously. So we will continuously watch throughout the entire month of September. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought. For today's confidence tab, we're at a 4 out of 6 again. I've talked about this, but this is the maximum model ever go on a monthly or seasonal forecast, so we're pretty much at max confidence. For yesterday's comment of the day, I asked you guys, how do you think this upcoming fall is going to go? And I guess it's ongoing at this point. And Corey Smith said, we may have a cool fall. And if you're in the central or eastern United States, that seems to be a possibility. So, way to go there, Corey Smith. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons. John Benbenek, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Elizabeth Pan, and Donna Carnes, alongside our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codalesa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Cindy Klein, Mark J, Luke Valego, Gary, John Colisi, Dwight Phelan, and Stephen Kernenthal. If you would like to be a part of this very awesome patron entry in the day, you can do so by joining our very amazing Patreon page. That's going to be in the description and in the pinned comments down below. I would also like to thank our channel members, Hair Farms 1 and Catbite as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to destroy the like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I will see you guys in the next video.